Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for November 7th, 2021, with your host, Peacemaker2448 and Rep at Epsilon.
Hello.
Is it odd to be like, hey, we have a form change debut in these two episodes, and it doesn't feel like the focus? Kind of?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and it's like, yeah, that feels weird.
Yeah. But yeah, it is 37 through 40 of Deno as we are looking to wrap up Deno here in a couple weeks and then move on to Ryuki and see how well that goes. I am very much expecting you to not like Shinji.
That bad?
I don't know if he's that bad. He's just... he feels like the wrong person to be the main character of this show.
I mean, I guess time will tell.
Yeah. But yeah, it is Deno this week. It felt weird to not have Revice this week.
That would explain why the place that I'm watching it didn't have it up.
Yeah, Revice and Senkaicher were off this week because of a marathon run of some kind in Japan that was this weekend. But the Soto blog still happened and just showed the last figure for Ryuki Chronicle 2, and that was it. So it's like, oh, well, you could have just waited till next week to show us this. I mean, I know why you had to show it this week, because that comes out this weekend, but still. But, I get a fun thing to watch Tuesday on Hockey stream. He's gotten two people that are fans of Saber that are going to compete against each other in a Saber-themed quiz. I just have to look at it and just be like, okay, how deep are we going on the questions? Because we can't just be throwing softballs here, left, right, and center.
I mean, we could.
Like, granted, one of the dumbest questions could be, how many riders does Saber have?
Is it multiple choice?
I don't know. But I'm just like, okay. Because if I hear that question, I'm like, do we count Cross Saber as a separate rider?
In all joking, I would actually, if it was multiple choice, be fully expecting one of the answers to be too many.
Mm-hmm. I honestly thought about submitting the question, but it would involve me having to actually research it to figure out the answer. How many forms does Saber use? Or, no, let me rephrase it. How many unique forms does Saber use throughout the series?
Well, it said unique, so that means the final form's out of the question.
But that means every single Wonder Ride combo, or Wonder Rider combo he used counts. Do you remember every single one he used?
Seeing as how I dropped the show really early, that would be a resounding no.
Yeah. I'm like, oh god, I gotta go fucking research this. Do I wanna? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't like being that one person, but yeah, maybe. Actually.
just curveball them being like, yeah, how many unique forms? Wonder Right combos as count. And everyone just goes, oh fuck, how many different ones did he use? Because I think the easy answer would be, okay, how many extra books, or how many other books were there per writer? Like the core 6, plus I think 3 or 4. At least I can think of off the top of my head. But any thoughts on these Deno episodes before we get rolling into them? Hello?
Oh?
Okay. Alright, then we shall kick off our look at these episodes with episode 37! I have the face for it, don't I? So, Momotaros is training with Ryutaro on how to wield the sword, because he's the only one qualified for this. I guess.
Swords, so...
To be fair, Yuto could help. He uses the sword too.
Yeah, but he'll be important next to.
Yeah. But Ryutaro is talking about all the changes of like Hana, the new line, the Imagine not being able to possess him in the past, yada yada yada. And then we check in with Ryutaros, who's drawing and is frustrated and tired because someone is talking to him and telling him to kill Ryutaro, and he's like, no, I don't wanna, it's boring.
Yeah, he's done scratched that itch.
And we see that this person is Kai, who is in charge of the Imagine.
And I feel like it's shoehorned in horribly here.
There's a reason nobody remembers him as this, because I was about to say, where is he at? Because I want his actor's name real quick. But yeah, if you are familiar with the Ultraman, you might recognize him, because after Deno, he would go on to play Ultraman Orb in Ultraman Orb. This is Hideo Ishiguro, for official sake. But weirdly, I can hear the voice he uses in Orb just a little bit every time he speaks. But he's far better in that than this. So yeah, there's a reason nobody cares about Kai. He kind of sucks, as we'll find out. But back in the episode later on, we check in with Ryutaros as he's finished a picture for Ari because he thinks she's his sister. But Momotaros is like, hey, we're not going to be with Ryutaro for much longer. You probably need to stop that. And this upsets Ryutaros. But Ryutaro's like, it's fine, and just takes him, and they leave to go get the picture to Ari in what has to be a very not confusing manner. I'm sure it's not weird for Ari to have this happen. But at the milk dipper, Yuto's there, trying coffee and stuff. When Ryutos arrives, and him being there upsets him, and then he throws a tantrum and leaves. And it's bad enough that Ari even is like, that's not Ryutaro. That's somebody else. Which I'm surprised it's taken her this long to catch on to the fact that Ryutaro has some varying personalities sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, Ari, it's taken you this long? But anyway, Ryotaro storms off. He's upset and stuff, and he decides to just shut everybody down. So he calls his breakdancing crew to go dance at a club. And as he's dancing, Kai shows up, and then we get a breakdance battle between them, which I am sorely confused every time this happens. I really am. Like, why is breakdancing such a big part of Ryotaro's character? And
because the reasons.
I guess. But they have the dance off. Kai recognizes that it's Ryotaro's. They go and talk. He's like, hey, you should kill Ryotaro. Ryotaro's like, fuck you. Transforms, tries to kill him. I don't remember what this Imajin's name is. I think it's Death Imagin, and this is actually the other Imagin that is voiced by Kiryu. I don't think you can tell as much with this one. Granted, he doesn't talk that much.
Yeah, I could.
Mm-hmm. But they fight for a bit till Kai calls it off, and he's like, hey, here's a card thing to go fuck up Yuto, because you don't like him, I don't like him. Let's help each other out. But later on, both of the trains end up arriving at a train station that, spoilers, doubles as a train itself. I'm just gonna call the King Liner, because they don't give it a name till later.
I think actually in the episodes proper they don't. It's actually in the this is what's happening next episode kind of part that we get that. So yeah, on those the name would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. But this is the King Liner that has the station master, who is played by Owner's actor, but is totally not the same person, as pointed out by Owner, which confuses everyone. Because, are you sure? I'm sorry, you looked like the same person. Don't you fucking gaslight us here.
I mean, totally not the same person. Like totally not.
Yeah.
Except it can.
Yeah, everyone's getting off except Naomi, who's getting supplies and stuff for the train. And Ryotaro stays on for a little bit, only to then sneak onto the Zero Liner and take the rider pass and put the ticket in and shove it in the bike. That causes it to go out of control, and he leaves. And Yuto followed him to see this and then leaves as well. And then the Zero Liner takes off and then grabs the Den Liner from behind and starts pushing it in like an out of control manner. Why couldn't the Zero Liner have hooked up from behind and then went out of control? It just feels very weird that the Zero Liner is pushing, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense.
They didn't think it through. That was the reason.
But yeah, everyone's panicking about this, and the Imagine crew see this, but they're waylaid by ex-Zek troopers that are totally Imagine that fight them. Yes, this is the Zek trooper outfit from Kabuto. Poorly repainted to hide the fact that it's the Zek trooper outfit.
Well, I mean, everyone knows that stuff gets reused.
I just kind of laugh at how like they just threw it on there. We're done. But anyway, Ryotaro goes to confront Kai. He's just like, you said the Den Liner wouldn't be touched. He's like, fucking I lied. What do you got to do about it? And so his little Majin friend starts attacking him, and Ryotaro goes to transform, and then realizes, oh no, the rider pass is in the bike on the train, and without it, I can't transform. Oops. Maybe should have a spare.
Someone didn't think that through.
Also, I swear, there's an episode where they deal with the fact that, you know how Momotaros and all of them throw the rider pass when they do the finisher?
Uh-huh.
I swear there's an episode about they throw the ride pass and then it gets lost and then they have to find it. But we haven't hit that episode. And this is where I stopped watching, is the next pair of episodes after this pair we're talking about. So I don't know what episode I'm remembering. Have I gaslighted myself into remembering a fake episode?
It could be possible.
Hmm. But yeah, Zerudo shows up, fights the Imagine. Ryuteros tries to fight Kai with his breakdancers, but it gets turned around on him because I guess apparently his mind control powers were given to him by Kai because he has the same powers that he'll never use to his advantage. Oh well.
That would be putting too thought into.
Yeah. Which ends the episode, which takes us to episode 38, the King Train within the train terminal. So we're getting fighting all around as Ryuteros has to run because, oh shit, I need to protect Ryutaro. I'm gonna run away now. Yuto fights off the Imagine by just dropping 2 finishers on him, which I guess confirms that he can put the card back in to initiate a finisher and then use it again, because he's never done that before.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. The Majin crew finish off the Zek Troopers, and they catch up with Owner, who is challenging Station Master in a right-seating competition, because the terminal is searching for the trains, so they don't need to do anything.
And I
Are
don't
you
quite
sure?
grasp their competition.
You know how Oder keeps doing his pile of rice and keeps eating it until the flag falls over?
I completely get that.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why.
Look, I have a far larger question when it comes to Oder, and I guess it goes in relation with O's now because they're both written by Yasuko Kobayashi. But we'll get to it. So yeah, they're doing that. We catch up with Ryuteros. He heads to the Milk Dipper to see Ari. She realizes that this is someone else, but still wants to help them. But Ryuteros is just kind of out of it at this point and just runs away. And by the time he slows down, Yuto catches up with him, and I guess they talk. Yuto gets one line before Kai shows up in another scene, so I guess all their talking is off screen. But the King Liner finds the trains, and it catches them as Kai confronts our riders. And Ryutaro finally wakes up and takes over and literally tells Kai, "You leave my dragon child alone. You want to fucking fight somebody, fight me." Which, that's very kind of him to say.
Yeah.
After what Ryutaro did to him today.
Yeah.
But at this point, Kai's like, "Well, I hope you got that ticket, because I'm going to send the Imagine back," and uses his calendar book to pick a random date, and then sends the Imagine through himself to the past. which is a thing he can do because he's a singularity point?
Question marks?
I have no fucking idea. I don't think Kai's ever explained in the series. I think we've run into one of those shows where, oh fuck, how many episodes we have left? Oh fuck, we gotta end the show. Oh, we don't have a main bad guy to punch. We need to fix that. Oops.
I mean, with that, especially now seeing how 01 kind of wound up in the same boat, but not because of not paying attention, just because of reasons happening.
Yeah.
I kind of can understand that. Like, you've got a bigger story you were trying to get to, but yeah, it's hard to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Which could also explain why it has like 50,000.
Oh god, yeah. Granted, I was in a Kaiju Carl's chat for Togadon this weekend because they were talking the Vulcan Valkyrie V Cinema.
Oh boy.
They didn't particularly care for it outside of, oh hey look, we get to see our characters again. But the movies are meh. They're kind of not good. Which,
yeah.
Like, that's fair. Like, I'll be honest, I prefer the status quo we left off at Real Time, because I think you could do some fun, interesting stuff with character pairings that we set up at the end of Real Time, but then we went back to the well of, we gotta get the Metsubo Jinrai banking back together, and we gotta get Fu and Yaiba together, instead of doing...
Okay. I don't think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think it's the turn we decided to take it.
Right.
They went left, we should have went right. And it's like, yeah, that's the problem. Because I think the movies by themselves are probably good if we could have ended it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we ended them, what I feel like kind of soured it for me.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I feel like we had something that could have been really good, and we literally flush it down.
Yeah. Because also by the end of Real Time, we have a villain that would be really cool to deal with in a not, like, we gotta go punch them manner with Azu. Because it's like, oh, her entire thing is, I'm gonna slap a driver on someone so they'll blow up humanity. Oh, that one didn't work? Well, I'm just gonna keep doing this till someone does it right. What are you gonna do? You can't stop me. You tried. You fail every time.
I mean, yes and no, because if you do that too much, then we turn into the same problem had with both X8 and Build.
Yeah.
Where we've got the same villain that just won't die.
Mm-hmm. But I think a cool, if anything, it's a pitch. A cool trilogy of B cinemas, or at least a duology of B cinemas, would be a Azu tries a plan, it doesn't work for one B cinema, just again, but it just kind of goes horribly, and it's just like, fuck.
So kind of like what we got.
Right. But the second one is we tap into the final stage show canon a little bit, but in this case, Azu goes, all right, I tried Aruto, that didn't work. I tried Hirobi, that didn't work. I tried Eden, and it didn't work. I kind of got Lucifer out of that, but it didn't work. I tried this dipshit in this movie, and it didn't work. What if I just fucking try it this time? Fuck it. I want to slap the driver on myself. Because she canonically has a rider form.
I get it. I kind of could see that side of it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I honestly feel like the problem we hit the legitimate the point right after Azu no more.
Yeah.
Legitimately from that point on is where we've got the problem. Because unfortunately that is the point that sets the entire remainder of the cinemas up there. And it's like, that's the point.
Yeah. I mean, as long as the second one or the third one ends with Azu dead and it's done, I'm fine.
I'd even be kind of fine with us having the first one and it be because of the person tried to get. Like how it played out. I'd even be fine with something akin to that. Legitimately, the problem's how we ended it.
Yeah.
And what's worse is the fact of the way we ended it. Yes, we had 5 deaths. We had 1 permanent.
Yeah. Because, like, okay, this might be me reading a little bit too much into it. Mystical generalized consciousness isn't in the driver, right? It's on some server somewhere.
Their final consciousness might have been, but there still would have been a backup somewhere.
Yeah, because when they went in there, they're in the same server as the souls. And that's where they remain for, like, the rest of that movie. So I'm like, they're not in the driver. The driver is just, like, a go-between, like, the 01 driver is for Zaya.
Well, regardless, there's backups for all human gears.
Yeah.
So regardless, even if you got an older version of them, you could revive all 4 of them.
Yeah. Because I also said this in Kaiju Carl's chat of, hey, you know how we bring back Fua? Just say fuck it and he's a cyborg now. Just bring him back as a cyborg. Let him complete his Showa Rider transformation and just be a cyborg.
They could play that way. Because I feel like the groundwork's there with the right explanation. They might could play that direction, but I don't foresee that happening.
Yeah.
And that's the bad thing.
But anyway, the episodes. Because
Yeah,
we didn't finish
we derailed.
Yeah. But yeah, the Imagine went back in time. Ryotaro chased it. Had to go liner form. Hooks up with Ryotaro's to do dance moves. And then does the Ryotaro's finisher where it is right along the train line and then throw the sword at him and then rip it out on the way through? I guess? That's how I looked at it. But we end off the episode with Ryotaro's apologizing for his actions. Just to Ryotaro, and then just being himself later, and then being sad with the picture. It's progress. It is more progress than Vice has. Which, that's unfair. We're at episode 38, and we're at episode, 10 of Revice?
Yeah. 9.
But I'm like, Well, as of next week, it's 10. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, like, just...
It is kind of unfair on that aspect.
Yeah.
Also, that could partially be bias of being like, yeah, I might be starting up to Vice a little bit more. Which I don't know how I feel on that one.
He's fine. I think episode 9 reminded me of all the reasons I don't like him, because he got a little too much focus of talking into the camera for moves and stuff in this episode that has no business doing that, because we got more important shit to deal with than you. I'm sorry.
But you know what's funny though? I see why they're doing it this way. And you're probably not gonna like it, but I have a funny feeling that's just gonna be him.
Yeah.
When we've got serious stuff going on, he's gonna be the one talking to the camera, doing the jokes.
Right.
They're not necessarily gonna be good jokes ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm seeing that's kind of what the idea is, so that they can go darker and still make it look light friendly too.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I kind of get that. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing with him. If that's what we're doing, then I'm fine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Question's gonna be if that's not what we're doing. Because if it's not what we're doing, then that's a problem.
Also, this show has proved me fucking right on, oh, the demons are essentially the shadows from Persona. With, Kagero. Like, fucking, that high Persona 4. I've seen this before. This is every shadow interaction from Persona 4. I see how this is going to end. Because, shit, I don't remember his name. Daichi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Daichi, he's not accepting, like, all the things that Kagero is saying. Which is giving Kagero control over him. Until Daichi accepts all that stuff that Kagero is saying as, no, I do have resentment for my brother. No, I do, like, I am jealous of him. He won't get back in control. But once he does, hey, he's back in control. He can become live now. And then, I don't know, evil will chill, I guess. I'm not sure how this is going to go forward from there. But it was also, Vice, I think, is the same thing. Because I don't remember the episode, but there's some episode where someone makes a comment. Vice immediately says like a negative thing in reaction to that comment. But then Ikki says the opposite. Like, there's the beat, there's Vice's comment, and then Ikki continues the conversation. And I'm like, oh, Vice is all those negative feelings Ikki has. He doesn't like his family. Deep down, he does have resentment for his family because, you know, his little brother gets to go be the hero, and then his little sister gets to go do karate stuff. But him, no, he ain't sacrificed his soccer career to keep the bathhouse running, because somebody's got to keep it running. Somebody's got to take over. So I'm fully expecting that to be the revelation of, No, Vice is literally Iki's shadow. He's every dark thought that Iki has ever had and continues to have, which is why he's a prick and sucks. Like, if they go full on with that, I'll be happy, because I'm like, that's why I don't like Vice. I'm not supposed to like Vice. He's kind of an asshole.
I could see it that way.
Yeah. Of course. I'm wondering what the deal with Demons is, because he doesn't have like any sort of contract.
Yeah, you noticed that one too.
Unless he has an artificial one, which I'm thinking he does.
Or it just hasn't fully manifested yet.
That too.
That might be the next battle after get beyond the whole Kamen Rider evil part.
Well, live debuts this weekend. So.
And I could see that being like last minute, hey, look what's happening.
Yeah. Which makes me sad, because Demons probably has the best form change gimmick of the show.
I mean, it probably won't be going away permanent kind of deal. It's just going to be a hurdle for the show.
Yeah. But any thoughts on the 2 episodes of Deno as we derail again?
I didn't do it this.
I know, I'm aware.
I'll admit I did it on the other one, but I mean...
It doesn't help it's not the most interesting episodes of Deno. Which is probably why this is where I stopped.
Yeah, I could see that. Because it's one of those... I feel like I want to be invested into this. But the fact that we've got just a random final villain there, it kind of one that's making me like, I don't know.
Yeah. But shall we hit the second half then?
I guess so.
Yeah, so we pick up at episode 39, and then there were no riders. So, Momotaros and Ryutaro pull off the miracle of, we stopped the Imagine before it went back in time. Yay! As Bobo's like, I'm teaching you how to do sword stuff, and then does dumb thing, and then he's like, nope, take it from the top, and literally goes back to the beginning of the fight, and then does the end of it.
Also, I was fully expecting Imagine out right there when we took it from the top.
Yeah.
Because that would have been just on par.
Yeah. But Ryutaro decides to scan the guy to get the date and still go back in time to try to figure out why, if there's some correlation between all these dates. And as it turns out, it's apparently Sakurai. So congratulations, Ryutaro. You're now caught up to us from the start of the series. 39 episodes in. Yay! But they're apparently after Sakurai and seem to try to attack him, which we have noticed, so this is not new information for us. Unfortunately, that is all the information we get, because we just kind of move on from there, because it's just like, Kai's ordering them to do this, and we still don't know why. Owner, prepping for his rematch with Station Master, decides to go for a run. So he runs beside the Denliner that is going at full speed. The fuck is this man? Like, legitimately, the fuck is this man?
He's not a man.
that's clear at this point.
He is not a man. He is a manifestation of.
Probably.
Because that would be exactly what I would expect.
Yeah, he's literally the space-time continuum taking form.
What's funny is if that actually was an explanation in the show, I would completely take it and not even question.
Yeah. Because, like, Hana also, like, you know, has unexplainable superhuman feats that everyone just kind of accepts, and I'm like, is that just a thing? Is it just a thing with her writing? Of just, here's this one person with superhuman qualities that we just accept as normal. We don't question it, we don't get into the story of it. Nope, that's just a normal thing. But we check in with the Milk Dipper, because Ryotaro is there. Ari feels like she's forgetting something as she looks longingly at the telescope, and Ryotaro is like, it is something important, but I'm gonna let you remember it on your own, because trauma. And that's the short and long of it. We check in with Yuto and Deneb, and I believe at this point Yuto looks at one of his cards, and there's now a red card style on the back of one of his normal green ones. Which, okay, I have to bring up the writer wiki because for some reason they have a speculation that there's a red version of the yellow cards. Which, I'm not sure that's how that works. Because we've only seen the yellow as the underside of the green. I feel like the red is just a different version of that. I don't think the two of them can be on the same card. At least I wouldn't think. But yeah, the two of them end up shopping. And Yuto's like, don't give me mushrooms! And then Deneb gets them, and then Yuto fucking just forces him out, and then just headlocks him on the ground. And apparently this has to be commonplace, because none of, I guess, the moms in this scene are freaking out. They're just like, oh, that's happening. So this is supposed to be normal.
And just a normal Tuesday at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Random guys strangling a monster. Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah. But Yuto leaves eventually. He runs into Ryotaro. They take a nosedive off a bank and catch up on stuff. Until Yuto leaves and gets confronted by Kai, who's like, hi, I'm gonna do a crazy thing. I'm sending this Imagine to this contract holder. Have fun! Because they have that whole conversation about people being lost in time, and Kai don't give a shit. And I'm like, alright. But Yuto arrives. He sees that it's his teacher, but the teacher doesn't recognize him offhand.
Because he's used to.
Yeah. So they head back, only to not be able to do anything to stop the Imagine from killing the younger Yuto at the scene, which erases our current Yuto from the timeline and creates a branching timeline.
Which,
because
bear in mind, all of that part makes sense.
Yeah.
It's events to come later that may or may not lose people.
Yeah. Also, we find out that Yuto's not a singularity point. Apparently.
Which I thought that was already stated.
I thought he was.
I could have swore it was already stated that he wasn't, which was why he was able to be Zeranos.
Okay.
I don't know why we're acting like this is a big shocker here, because I was almost positive we did get that one confirmed before.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, and that might have just been one of those that I thought that, but
It might have been like a blink and you miss a piece of dialogue.
yeah, that was why throughout this entire conversation about that, I'm like, I thought we established that. Was I wrong?
But yeah, Ryutaro is immediately fucking pissed and then proceeds to demolish this Imagine in liner form to the point that he pops the ultra finisher on the Den Kamen sword that summons all 4 trains and then fucking just shreds this Imagine. That apparently you have to spin the sword multiple times to do this. I'm like, damn, this probably is the angriest that I think we've had Ryutaro all season. Justifiably so.
Oh yeah.
But Hana shows up and Ryutaro's like, oh god, what happened to Yuto? And do you remember him? And like, Hana's like, yes, we do. We're singularity points. We're fine. But everyone else is a problem, because we see that the Milk Tipper is now the library cafe and is full of women instead of men. And we have the gender swap Tweedles doing the same shtick with Ari, except it's not the actual Tweedles. These are 2 completely different characters that are just doing the Tweedles bit in this scene and will not show up again. Because we see the Tweedles in the next episode.
And I think later in this one? It was either later in this one or early in the next one first. Not doing the bits.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Wait, question. Do they also fawn over Ari as well? Or they just cut that part and they're just doing the other bits? Because now I'm really curious how far they are willing to go with how much this matches up to the original timeline.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm like, okay, none of these women are fawning over Ari like all the men do. Okay. But does that also count the Tweedles? Or the femme Tweedles in this case? I don't know why I'm focusing on this, because it's literally like 3 seconds and it's gone. And it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's how the episode ends, which takes us to episode 40, Change Imagine World. So we now find out that in this new timeline, Deneb is contracted to Ryutaro and is essentially the chef of the Denliner now. But presumably doesn't give Ryutaro another form change, or does the pile-on for Climax. So, missed opportunity there. It's only for 1 episode, but I'm like, what would Deneb as Deno look like?
I'm sure someone has done a mock-up somewhere.
Like, what is that? And also, what would he be in Climax?
Climax and line, actually.
Yeah, because there would be a 5th thing on the sword now.
Uh-huh.
Also, wait, would his train be the secondary train from the Zero Liner still?
Maybe.
This provides far too many questions.
Or would his train just be the Zero Liner?
Yeah, that.
I just actually thought about that because actually he kind of acts like the conductor of it, so maybe.
Yeah. There are too many good possibilities here that this show just ignores. This is like, we're just doing this for like a quarter of an episode before we're done. Anyway, Ryutaro tries to remind everybody about Yuto, but nobody remembers him. And this is when we talk to the owner and we find out that, memories are fickle little things that sometimes things change for better and worse, because the whole argument for this episode is kind of like, this is a better timeline. Look how much people are happier because, like, Ari doesn't have her trauma. The Tweedles have lives outside the Milk Dipper, I guess, and Deneb is on the Denliner. And the Denliner crew are better at teamwork. I don't know how this is a better timeline. Like, it's a false argument from Kai, I know, but I don't get it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know. Ari seems like maybe the better off because it's like, I don't have my trauma related to Yuto anymore. But I'm also like, is that a positive? Because you're still the same person with or without the trauma. So it seems like a neutral on that one.
Yeah, kind of a neutral gain kind of deal.
Yeah. This is an Ari of a slightly different flavor rather than a very distinctly different Ari. But anyway, as Ryutaro and Kohana are talking about this, Kohana gets kidnapped, which I think is the first time in several episodes that I have mentioned Kohana doing something in these episodes.
Yes.
Because of how much she has went from somewhat important to a non-factor because of being small child. And I am sad. But anyway, Ryutaro and Kenzura show up to help. But Kai's like, I just wanted to get her here so I could talk to you and be like, it's a better timeline, right? Don't you want to not try to change this? And this is when we see the Tweedles are apparently better off because Priest Tweedle has a child, has small baby, and then Reporter Tweedle has 2 women on his arms, which, okay, one of those, I don't know if that's even the case in the original timeline. I would assume not. But the other one is the same. That's no different than normal. I don't know, show, if you're trying to tell me this is a better timeline or not, but you're doing a bad job at it. But eventually Ryutaro experiences all this. Is like, nah, I like the original timeline better. And Kai's like, well, if you're going to try to change things, I'm going to fight you. And tries to 60 Imagine on him. But then Yuto shows up because the timeline fixed itself. Because... did they really give a reason?
No.
Okay, because I was just like, because Ryutaro and Kohana know him, therefore they're immune to the cards, therefore they're the backup? I guess? I don't know. We're in some real nebulous territory now. But, Kai sends the Machin back. Yuto and Deneb give chase. Ryotaro has everyone piled on to do Climax to take on the two in the present. They easily clean house on them. So we're going to focus on the other fight, where Yuto's fighting it, and then he tries to use the red card, or the red side of one of his cards, slots it in. He gets shot and thrown off a building, and then we get a scene that implies that the red side of the card is being powered by memories specifically related to present Yuto, rather than future Yuto. That probably sounds very confusing.
Yeah, this part of it, I'm like, wait a minute. Because, like, is this technically everything the Yuto we've seen from
I would assume yeah.
Because, I mean, I am baffled.
I think it's a case of the green and yellow cards are powered by Sakurai memories. Red cards are powered by Yuto's memories. So when he uses red card, he burns those memories to power it. Which is why later in this episode and the next episode, Ari doesn't remember Yuto specifically instead of Sakurai. There's a reason I have tried to use their names separately to describe them for a situation like this. Time travel! It's all sorts of confusing.
Only when you take the same person in two different times.
Right. But that's my assumption of how this works. And that's, I assume, what the scene's trying to say. But we now have Zero Form, which is a matte red repaint of regular Altair form Zeronos. Yay! At least Denna becomes a gun.
That he can't change back from.
For a little bit, because, oh no, I've turned into gun. I need to figure out how to unturn into gun. So, yeah, that happens. We get Zero Form's finisher. Yay! But consequences. Ari now doesn't remember Yuto specifically, and both the necklace and ring that Yuto was wearing, which they have never given us context for what the fuck that necklace is rusting, and the pocket watch in the shop is also rusting. Which, the whole motif with Zero Form is that it's a rusted version of Zeronos. Red doesn't really work for that. Just the flat matte red, but sure. It needs a bit more texture to it. It needs a bit more layering of colors to pull off a rusted look, but it's sure. Honestly, it needs to be more brown than red. Because it's too bright of a red.
True.
Because rust is more of like a darker red, kind of like a brown. Granted, it's not a very appealing looking color, which is probably why they went with the red, but if you're going to make a rusted looking rider, I would like it to be an accurate color of rust. So yeah, the use of the Zero Form cards is slowly erasing any evidence that Sakurai even existed, so yay! And that's where we end for the week, folks. We had our secondary rider's final form, which, by the way, this is This is Uranos' final form. This 3-color. Not Vega. This. It's secondary riders had it rough during Phase 1 Heisei. They didn't get a whole lot. If anything.
Yeah. Kind of sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fine pair of episodes for a fine week of Den-O, but I don't know if I should be feeling that way in the last, 12 episodes of the show.
Fair.
Because I don't think Den-O's gonna nosedive. We're too deep in too consistent to nosedive. At this point, at least.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna be that good by the end.
Yeah,
I
think the ending's gonna be, I'm not gonna say lackluster, but close to.
Yeah. Which weirdly seems to be a trend for me with Phase 1 Heisei sometimes. Oh, I like the show for 60% of the run, and then the last 40% is meh. But anything else?
Huh?
Alright then, Thursday, we start the Okami of the HD variety. Friday, we continue our dive into Metroid Prime. Saturday, we shoot for the stars in Mario Galaxy. And then Sunday, it is our penultimate look at Den-O the series. So, if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chip away at that feeling goal. Add to user on Twitter, gets you updates in real life. Makes me point Discord and chat. Get to Discord link. Drop by. Say hi. See you Thursday, folks.